Good afternoon, and welcome back to Tev's Next Idea. And we are getting ready to stream some more of Higurashi When They Cry Hoo! If you missed my past stream, in the description is the link to my YouTube channel. Just www.youtube.com at Tevico604/playlists. And you can, you can look for the playlist for Higurashi, and I got other playlists there too. Just some disclaimers right here before we start. I am playing this game at the request of my son. He gave this to me several years ago, and I'm just now getting around to it. And since he does not live near me to watch me play, I like to stream/record this and then post to YouTube so that he can see this later. Last time, this is a visual novel, and last time we did little more than just read what was on the screen. I don't know if I'm going to continue reading every single word, but we'll see how that goes. However, do have to address last time there was a short area that had some mature talk, some sexual innuendos, so I did tag this one now with that sexual warning. It may or may not occur. It was very short. There was, it was really what it was just talk amongst the characters, which was highly inappropriate for characters of this age. However, even though this isn't one of those, quote, adult visual novels, it is a Japanese visual novel, so that kind of content is not to be unexpected. And like I said, there's just a lot that goes into the next warning. It's just I'll call it a boredom warning. This is a visual novel, and what traditionally happens in these is they have long stretches of dialogue that seemingly have really nothing to do with plot advancement, and maybe it's more character development or whatever. But you have to go through those. We're going to go through those, and I am not a voice actor. I will do my best to follow. And last time I found I had difficulty even following who was speaking because it's not always clear. All that being said, I think we're going to have a good time. We'll get through. Last time we had a total number of 0 choices that had to be made. So hopefully there's a little more choices this time, and the story gets a little bit more interesting. But where we left off, let me go ahead and continue. And I'm going to load where we were. But where we so far, what the story is that, my character is in his hometown, back from a visit to the city where he went to a funeral. And he is basically new in this town. I think he's only been here about a month. And let me see, I don't know if this music is a little loud, but let me just turn it down a tiny bit. And, he's in a school with his classmates, and he's in a one-room schoolhouse pretty much that has all different ages. And he has several friends, all female, of course. And we'll see where we are. So, no matter what the day had held, the last school bell always came too soon. So apparently these people like to go to school and not so much want to get home, but that is the case. Our shadows stretch off into the distance. Hey, Kicho-kun, tomorrow, do you have plans or anything? Or anything? Huh? It was such a direct question from Reina, I inadvertently blushed. If it was for a date, then wouldn't you do it more subtly? Well, Reina saw me lost for words and realized that I'd misunderstood and, no surprise, turned red as well. As we also know, this girl embarrasses really easily, even though she's the instigator of some of these conversations. No, I didn't mean it like that. You see... So, apparently that wasn't what she meant. But since it's always fun when Rain is in a panic, I went along with it a little. Yes, that's true. I'm also a little bit of a bad boy from what we found out. Oh, really? So it wasn't meant that way? Huh? Huh? Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning dejection. Kichu-kun, why are you so disappointed? Why? Why? Mi-chan! So, this is our other friend, and I don't remember the names. Unable to hold it any longer, Mion slapped me on the back. I see. This old geezer never knew you could push her buttons like that. Huh? Huh, what? What is it? Mion was rolling on the floor, clutching her stomach. Let's get her some medical attention there. While Reina flailed around, completely bewildered. I couldn't help but start laughing as well, feeling just a bit guilty. I ruffled Reina's hair. Kidding. Sorry, it was a joke. That was my fault. She really is a cute one. Ha ha, joke. Since when? Since when? Ha, about halfway through. Halfway? So, Ki-chan, that means you weren't acting when you blushed at the start. Huh? That means... It was only a momentary lapse, but there's no way Mion would let such a delectable detail slip by her. Well, you see, saying anything more was also a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavorable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while. And of course, we're not going to go through all the teasing. Thankfully. So, why were you asking if I'm free tomorrow, Reina? Huh? Oh, what were we talking about? It had been so long that Reina had forgotten that's how long Mio has teased me. It's just, Ki-chan, you probably can't find your way around Hinamaziwa by yourself yet, can you? That was true. I hate to say it, but if you blindfolded me and spun me around 3 times, like we were playing pin the tail on the donkey, I wouldn't be able to tell up from down here. To be fair, if you took me outside my own house, blindfolded me, spun me around 3 times, I don't know how great I would be at finding my way around the neighborhood either. Yeah, I don't think I know how to get anywhere besides back and forth from school, because I live such a sheltered life. Yes, see you tomorrow. We were thinking that Mi-chan and I could escort you through Hinamazawa and show you around. That would be a godsend. Frankly, I was happy about the offer. You'll come, of course, right? If I'm free. You're being invited by a girl you know. If I'm free. You're probably free anyways. If I'm free. I was being stubborn, so as not to give a clear yes or no. Even though I thought it was a godsend, I'm too much of a scamp to say so up front. Yeah, tease him along. Ki-chan, you're not free, perhaps? Perhaps? While Mion and I had a rather sour back and forth, Rena peeked over at me hesitantly. Figuring I'd been a bit too rough on her, I just gave in. Sorry, forgive me. I apologize. I'm free. Great! The trepidation disappeared from Reina's face as it blossomed into a smile. Hey now. Don't say it's over. Stay calm. Okay. That is, we'll save that for karaoke night with my wife later on. Seems like there's quite a difference between how cold you are to me compared to Reina, isn't there? It seems Bion didn't care for how rude I was to her, compared to how quickly I agree with Reina. But her being annoyed was very interesting. So I pushed Reina forward, speeding up our pace to leave Mion behind. Let's go, Reina. Maybe it should just be the two of us tomorrow. Leave grumpy old Mion behind. Huh? Whoa. If Kichi-chan is okay with that, then... I'm the one who came up with the idea to take him around. Don't ignore me, Kichi Maebra. Ooh, there's another word. It'd be great if the two of us could go on a picnic together. Should we bring a basket, Reina? If I were bringing a basket, I'll make all the food. Maybe. Don't you ignore me too, Reina. I'll tell everyone that you two disappeared into the hotel district together. Oh, is that another Reina punch? Well then, I'm going home right now to start making it. Yeah, you know that Reina has a pretty good right punch, right hook. She used it in the classroom. She used it here. Tomorrow is going to be so fun. Later, Kichi-kun, Mia-chan. Bye. Rena bounded off like she was walking on the moon. After the dust settled, all that was left was me standing next to Mion, sprawled out on the ground. There was a welt on her face. Are you alright? There was over 2 meters between you guys. Since you came, they've become sharper. This old geezer's body can't handle it. Maybe it'd be easier if you just stopped saying stuff that makes Rena want to hit you. Or else this will end up being Mion's slapstick comedy hour. If that happened, the results might be fatal. Don't feel bad, Mion. You're probably the only one who can dodge her jabs. It felt like it was her knee, though. Could it be that we were hanging around with an unrivaled martial arts master? Maybe someday we'll see her debut in an extreme contact sport. You can't lose to Reina. You need to train up and have a rematch. Ki-chan, you should... this old geezer will root for you. Mion and I reaffirmed our determination to discover a way to counter Reina's infallible technique. Whose side am I on? At one point, I'm hanging out with Reina. At another point, I'm encouraging Mion. Higurashi, when they cry. Was that like just the intro to this game? Am I just now, You've received new tips. We're a mixed grade. We don't have a uniform. Okay. Let's see. Save and load just in case. Let's save this here. Yes. End of chapter 1. So is that all we're doing today? Huh. Okay. Continue. Well, you know, unfortunately, I don't have chapter 2 loaded just yet. Oh! I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Okay, we're continuing on. Today was the day Reina and Mion were going to show me around Hinamaziwa. I'm getting good at that. Oh, who are thee? Rena and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place. Okay. See, new clothes, I don't even recognize who they are. But, anyway. Ki-chan, you're late. Sorry. The show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping 2 girls waiting? Mi-chan, you just got here yourself. Last night's episode of A Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Reina was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. Okay, so she doesn't just need a right hook, she has a handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right. Rena really did make a picnic. Kichan, after you left, Rena pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it. It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? She's been like this since last night, you know. Can you take responsibility for this? All right. I am a man after all. I'll take responsibility. I'll take responsibility for her making a picnic? Huh? Responsibility for what? For what? As we both turned around slowly to look at Rena, our gazes drifted downward to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. It's a head. Except this was Rena we were talking about here. And we don't even see the thing. About 2 kilos, I guess. When Rena was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I say 5. You're exaggerating. Kichi-kun is a boy after all. I don't know who's talking. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? This is Rena. Haha, let's get going. Heave-ho! Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there was the lunchboxes. I told you it's a head. It's a head! Correction. I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make Rena sad, got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Okay, force feeding. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. There were the boonies after... These were the boonies after all. So slovenly desk jockey... Nope, okay. Let's try this again from the top. These were the boonies after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekends out here. It really was a nice place. Peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, you would be Miyabara-kun, I believe. My two companions exchanged greetings with everyone we ran across. All of these passerbys even knew my name. Small town. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone, since there are so few people here in Hinamaziwa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume it's that Maibra fella who just moved here? Okay. Yeah, that's how it works out. It was a process of elimination you could only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in the bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. However, apparently I have no trouble making rude comments. Hinamazawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare. Of course I know them. The first person we met was old Takezu from the Makino bike shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute. Next we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobby is sharpshooting, and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse in the clinic. Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography. You know the names of everyone we passed by? Didn't we just discuss how small a town this was? And even their profiles? Seeing my surprise, Mion and Rain exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah. We're not like the city where people hardly know their neighbors. Then let's try it out. You there, who am I? You're Kichi Maibra. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person. It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you switched over to wearing boxers. Wait, how does she know this? Didn't you? That's enough. That's enough. But boxers? Enough of that! Apparently, there's nothing you can keep hidden here. Hinamizawa was not a place to be trifled with. This feels more like you guys are showing me off than showing me around. That's right. We're parading around like this after all. Don't you all think so too? That's Kii-chan is fitting right here in Hinamizawa. The population in Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody who's new here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of, "You're kidding me!" But I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke after all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out to again the same way. Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day. Oh my, Maibra-kun, how wonderful for you, having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good. As I looked back over to Reina and Mion, they gave me a wink. So now then, about time to have lunch. Maybe? Maybe? Reina's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. What is wrong with lunch? Is there something I don't know? I think mealtime is rather well. We both looked at each other. I'm a man. I'll do what I can. I will eat some lunch. But it's just too much. It's fine, Kii-chan. Leave it to this old man. Why does Mion keep referring to herself as a geezer? Or a man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I really wonder if it's a translation thing. I'd expect no less from the class representative. Reina, if we're going to eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view. Oh, yes. Good idea. I agree. Reina nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Ooh, oh, stairs. That was train tracks. We'll go up the stairs. We're going by some bells. Cresting the top of the stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight down out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit, though, through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling. This here is the Firud Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around. This place, be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? The Higurashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming that festivals had to be held in the summer. Now then, spread out the lunch boxes, and there. Okay, hold on. Last episode, we had a really long lunch sequence in the lunchroom. Are we about to have another long lunch sequence? Ooh, warrant. Alert, alert, exciting dialogue coming up. Various colored lunchboxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Raina's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mion, it'll take more than just a good view to get this all down, you know. Okay. Good afternoon. It was Rika-chan and Satoko, the other two girls from class. What do they do? Was an announcement gone out? Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. Oh, I see. This was her secret plan, to power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Now, I remember all these. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty. We just had to come since there was such a commotion. What is the meaning of this? Take a look. It's time for lunch. Buffet style. A handmade gourmet meal by Reina. I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property? The temple is public grounds. It's not yours. Kichi is right. This is everyone's property. Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. Oh, that was me. Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Satoko. Remember, she's the one that plays pranks all the time. Hold on 1 second. Where is my spot? No spot for you and nothing for you to eat. Don't worry, there's some for you too. None. I'll eat all of hers. What am I saying? Okay, a second ago, too much food. Now, don't touch my food. I will not allow that, Rika. Here, chopsticks. Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. Man, really, Ki-chan? You're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this. Have a plate. One for me-chan and Rika-chan, too. Rina whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates. If we don't hurry, it'll be all eaten up. That's right, okay. Shall we commence this battle? Please, eat a lot. There's enough for everyone, Rina said as she opened up a thermos. Just then, I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. Well, duh. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. I will not allow you to have all this hamburger. And what was that punch? Who punched? Herc! Using your elbow is against the rules, Satoko. Grabbing the back of my collar is also against the rules. It's food wrestling. It was a tough battle, blocking her full momentum and an elbow in the opening moves, but Satoko appeared to have the upper hand. But the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand. So, you see, the implication is, I guess, eating with the chopsticks, but we were really poking each other. It was like numb chopsticks. Ah! The last meatball! Satoko Huju has been bested. Gnome! Satoko and I aimlessly began choking at the same time, falling backward and spasming. Rika-chan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck on my throat. Seeing that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her, while I choked to death on a meatball. Anyone know the Heimlich maneuver, please? Mion advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. By killing us with meatballs? This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power just so things could stay like this. Mixed signals, Kia-chan. Mixed signals. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there are so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era? It seems that long ago, people ate in silence. It must have made the people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then the people were busy, even while eating, and didn't have the time to complement the flavor. That's just you. But, just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That's my effort was worth it, I mean. She blushed a little as she said that. We need a blushing counter. I need to add a blushing counter. How many times did she blush? Ding, ding, ding! It was delicious! With absolute perfect timing, Riki-chan struck Rena directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. After Rena uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof. Ha! Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home. No, I mean, thank you. It was really delicious. Rena flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her head against her so hard you could almost hear her. To reward Rika-chan for her praise, ta-da! These are special. 2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them towards Rika-chan. Apple rabbits? After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it, Satoko? What's with the defiant look? Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Rina-san? Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think up with your weak vocab? Ho ho! Well then, allow me to show you. After Satoko flashed Mion and me a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly. I can't do that. Hey. So, Reina One-chan's lunch. Sakoto thought it was yummy, too. Sakoto looked up at her poutily while talking cutesy. What? How was that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears. That's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? I could have voiced that better. This is Reina's limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Reina. How? Of course, that was asking the impossible. Reina glomped Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her. Yes. Whoa. Cute! Satoko is so cute. I take you home, how? Swish! Stab! Push! Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. Can we see these apple rabbits? Are these rabbits made out of apples? After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me again with that defiant glaze. It only took 5 seconds to take down Reina. That's unfair to think she had such a trick. If it upsets you so much, why not reward Reina-san with some praise? Dang. That was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise. Satoko, you think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? That sounds great, Mion. What kind of trick is it? Kia-chan is going to be the one who does it. What? Oh, why don't I have you show me then? The writhing of an old maid. The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking very naturally and calmly. Perfectly. It really is good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right? No. Actually, almost all of it was frozen stuff. Then which ones did you make fresh? Well, it's embarrassing. Do I really have to say? Must I? From the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? Reina turned an even deeper shade of red, the words, "I can't believe it," practically written on her face. How can you tell? How? That I made it. Of course. Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a bit. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell. Silence enveloped the area. Reina's face, still completely red, froze solid. With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course, I did too. I sure would like to try one of Reina's handmade apple rabbits or something. Even if this was all because I was competing against Satoko, it felt like I had crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. I told you I was a sneaky boy. Sneaky boy. Then, at that moment, I was going to say something like everything exploded, but it did. Whoosh! It was a Tupperware container filled with rabbits. Apple rabbits? Real rabbits? Please eat some, Kihi-chan. There's plenty for you. Instantly, dozens of the apples were shoved into my mouth, knocking me over. Oh, okay, Ki-chan. My head was forcibly laid upon her lap and even more apples were shoved into my mouth. While she was squealing, one apple another would force my mouth, more and more apples. I'm gonna choke again. This girl is trying to kill me. How about them apples? How about them apples, Satoko? Looks like we win. How about them apples? You SNL people know what that's all about. Ki-chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Satoko? This is our complete victory, isn't it? I can't believe it. Such trickery! It doesn't bother me at all. Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it. I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. I'm gonna pass out. Or they were drugged apples. At that time, Reina stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something. Rika-chan, you're not eating it. Did the salt water make it too strong, maybe? Maybe salt water. I really want to know what these apple rabbits are. Anyone know? Looking over, Riki-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed it into her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do. Poor Mr. Rabbit. I feel sorry for him. I want to save him. That was the sound of blood spurting from Reina's nose? Cute, cute, cute! Tonight I will take you home. Okay. I don't know who the authors of this game are, but to describe a explosion of glee as blood squirting out of your nose? Really? Really? Okay. She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then, coming back to her senses, she took all of the apples around me, gathered them up with a whip, 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 and fixed them back up on a plate. Now they're all just fine, Kay. Here, I'll give them to you, Rika-chan. Kay? Okay, she's very fickle. She likes me once, now she likes, Rika-chan? Okay. Riki-chan raised up Sakuto's hand like a referee after having that plate of rabbit shoved to her. She whispered, This is our victory. Oh, the scheming little wenches. Oh, okay. Well, this is a little bit more intense and exciting than the other lunch because there's a battle going on. What? A comeback? Ha! Hist onaru hihu. I just don't care anymore. Oh, is that me? Sure. I just don't care. Okay, that's me speaking with a mouth full of apple rabbits. Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. My sacrifice. Okay. Letterbox. Higurashi, when they cry. Is this another check the tips thing? Updated tips? Let's see what we got here going on. It's going black. It's another. It was a fun-filled, crazy day. But as soon as the sun began to set, the end of the day really did come quickly. Later, Reina and Ki-chan. See you tomorrow. Thanks for today, Mion. I had a great time. See you tomorrow. Satoko and Rika-chan went home as well. We parted ways with Mion and ended up with just Reina and myself enjoying the evening air on our way home. Thanks for coming today, Kichi-kun. Was it fun? Yeah, lots of fun. Almost feels like a waste to go home now. Wait a second. Then, well, would you mind taking a little detour, maybe? Maybe? To see my little pet cemetery. No. I really want this to get moving. A detour? Is it far? It's a bit of a walk, but it won't take long. Since we had begun walking around all day, I must have seemed a bit tired. Not feeling like teasing Rena, I quietly nodded. Through the woods, over a suspension bridge? Okay. This is a small little town. Traversing a small path and up a small hill, the land suddenly stretched out before us. There, what looked like the remains of a dilapidated construction site came into view. Oh. This is interesting. Rena comes here. A large heap of garbage spread out off towards the swamp. Probably illegal dumping. I recalled it being in the newspaper. Oof, oof, oof. It's been quite a while. I wonder what's here. I wonder what's here. Oh, she's a dumpster diver. When you say it's been a while, you mean the business you had here? Was that with this garbage pile? It's not garbage. To me, it's a pile of treasure. Cue the Little Mermaid. Rena had already entered that well-known cute mode of hers. So that meant there was something cute here. Whoa, a new pile. I can't wait. I can't wait. She bounded up the unstable slope. I sure hope we find an arm. I'd expect no less from a born and bred country girl. Hey, wait, I'm coming. Whoa, whoa. My city-raised self was completely pitiful. It's all right. Just stay right there, Kichi-kun. It won't take long. Rena kindly declined my accompaniment. Don't fall. Watch your step. I'm fine. I'm fine. This is nothing at all. Literally bounding up the heap of trash, Rena disappeared over the other side. I didn't like being left behind, but I was still pretty tired from the whole day, so I just ended up waiting. Without the lively Rena around, the surrounding area quickly fell into silence. The cry of the Higurashi gently cooled the air. Translation, cicadas. Fairly exhausted, I began to feel a little sleepy. Just then, the sudden noise of scattering pebbles alerted me to somebody's presence. Startled, I turned around. Okay, I clicked on it. There we go. Ooh, standing there was a typical-looking photographer. He spied over at me through his camera. His body was tanned and fit, but something about him seemed unreliable, and he had just a bit of an aloof air about him. Well, it didn't seem like he was a bad guy in any case. Whoa! You surprised me. Although startled when I turned around, he overplayed his reaction. That's him. That was my line. I'm the one who's surprised here. My bad, my bad. I didn't mean to startle you. Are you from Hinamizawa? I gather that he wasn't from that question. And he has dog tags. He's from the army. Unfazed by my suspicious outlook, he introduced himself without my prompting. I'm Tomataki, freelance photographer. I come to Hinamizawa from time to time. I didn't ask you who you were. Quite rude to photograph. It's quite rude to photograph someone without consent, one would think. My bad, my bad. I mainly photograph wild birds. Why am I having so much trouble with that word? They can't refuse, you see. Ha 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 ha. So what? You're saying I'm the same as the birds? No, well, you see, that image of a young man in the twilight was just picturesque. I apologize for trying to take your picture without asking. Adults are pretty slick. All that annoyance I felt for being startled just flew away as he buttered me up. I had no intention of hanging around with this guy trying to get cozy with me, except it didn't seem like Reina would be back soon. But this older guy, Tomataki-san, he didn't mind my cautious responses and continued rambling on by himself. Kichi-kun. Oh, wait. I think this is Reina. I will voice this as Reina. Kichi-kun, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm finished now. Reina popped her head out from one of the lower piles of garbage and waved her hand. I hope that they mean behind the pile of garbage, not in the pile of garbage. You have someone with you. Oh. You have someone with you. What would she be doing over there? That's what I wanted to know. Don't know. Maybe she's checking on that dismembered corpse that was out here long ago. Tomataki-san looked shaken up by that for a moment, and some of us are hoping. Uh-oh. I responded like I would if I were talking with Reina and the others. It was quite a disturbing incident. They still haven't found one of the arms. Okay. I didn't know that when I said that earlier. Hee Kichi-kun. Sorry to keep you. You were waiting a while, I guess. Oh, wire's all tangled up here. Okay. I'd best leave you two lovebirds alone. Again, my apologies for startling you, Kichi-kun. Tomataki-san chortled suggestively, then disappeared into the twilight. Missing my chance to retort put me off a bit. Kichi-kun, are you angry? Why, I wonder. It wasn't Reina's fault, so I decided to just brush it off. Ooh, excuse me, for now. How was it? Find a treasure trove? Oh, yes, so listen. You see, there was a Colonel Sanders doll. A Colonel Sanders doll? Is there an echo? Oh, that thing? Those statues they always have out in front of that fried chicken place? That life-size dummy? Yes, Colonel Sanders. Oh, cute. I want to take it home. Why? I couldn't tell her how she decides. I couldn't tell how she decides what's cute or not, but, well, she seems to want it. It's garbage, right? No one would care if you just take it home, right? It's become the base of another pile. I can't dig it out easily. There's no lampposts over there, so it'll get dark pretty soon. Reina seemed quite down about finding a treasure and not being able to... No one else is taking it! It will be there in the morning. Trust me. Who wants an old, smelly, dirty Colonel Sanders statue in their house? And what about your parents? Do you run any of this by them? Do your parents have any say, or do you just bring junk home? I'll help you out to repay you for that delicious picnic you prepared today. Oh, thank you. Birds heading home to roost proclaimed that nightfall would be upon us soon. Kichi-kun is going to help. I can take Colonel Sanders home. Oh. Reina staggered along as if intoxicated in her dreamy state of mind. 10-1, we never see this Colonel Sanders statue in this game. Copyright and all. I tried asking her in a way that wouldn't take her out of her cheery state. Hey, Reina. Long ago, did something happen here? Seems like they were building a dam here. I don't know the details, though. Oh. Just wondering if you knew about, an accident or something? I don't know. Her tone was disturbingly frank. It sounded more like a denial than an answer. It must have appeared rather dumbstruck. Reina quickly lightened her expression. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Actually, I didn't live here until a year ago. Huh? You transferred here too? I was sure that... So you see, I really don't know much from before that. Sorry. Don't really know? Don't want to talk about it? That was the kind of feeling she gave me. Thinking about it, of course, it would be like that. This wasn't the type of things girls would enjoy talking about. It was quite a disturbing incident. It seems they haven't been able to find one of the arms. If it's just like Tomataki-san said, then I had a feeling only the Higurashi would know. I am hoping I'm nearing the end of this first chapter in the game. Higurashi when they cried. But regardless, whether we did or not, You have received new tips. The Maabra Mansion. Oops. View new tips. Let me hit save first, just because. End of chapter 2. Okay. I don't want to be in this. Okay. View new tips. What new tip did we just get? We just got the Maabra Manor. I don't know what that is. The damn site murder dismemberment. Newspaper. Can I read this stuff? Okay, if I click on... I'm going to see if... Before I end this stream, let me click on this and see what happens. Can I actually read stuff? Or are they just going to take me back to the part in the game? Oh, here we go. From the June 1979 edition, the Shishuborn City Okonomiya Police Station, June XF's late at night. Suspects, and then they're redacted, were arrested on suspicion of murder and improper disposal of a corpse. The main offender, redacted, has been added to wanted lists nationwide. Are we supposed to be filling these in as we do this stuff? According to our sources, the 6 suspects were at the Hinamizawa Dam construction site workroom on the redacted of 9 p.m., where they are suspected to have assaulted and murdered the site overseer, redacted, as a group, dismembering his body and hiding it. On that day at 8 o'clock in the morning, a report was filed by the Shishibone City Hospital in which a male suspect alluded to having murdered Mr. Redacted. When questioned at the police station, the individual confessed to the crime. Okay. Since a portion of the body was recovered at the location he gave, he was arrested that afternoon on suspicion of murder and mutilation of a corpse. The rest of the suspects were arrested on the same day, but the main culprit is still large. Police are currently on his trail. The motive is purported to be a drunken verbal dispute during which he killed the victim in a fit of anger. However, as there are multiple inconsistencies with their testimony, the investigation is ongoing. Is that it? Okay, so there was a murder there. So, now, this leads me to read what Maabra Manor is about. Is this my house? Okay, I gotta go back and look at the other ones. So, Ki-chan, you're not stinking rich? What is this all of a sudden? Did I come to a school in a limo before? How much do you get for monthly allowance? About $10? That's a rather plebeian amount. Oh. His lunch is made up of normal stuff. He isn't rich. What are they talking about? To be asked out of nowhere how much I get and then told it's a plebeian amount? Ah ha ha, sorry. Rena seemed to pick up on my dubious expression and started giving... Did we read this already, or is this a new scene? I think this is a new scene. Ki-chan, your house, you know, it's pretty big, yeah? So the architecture has people all around Hinamizawa calling it the Maabra Manor, and it sort of stands out. Maabra Manor? Since the house is so big, everybody is gossiping, wondering exactly how rich you are. I see, now I get it. Well, the frame of it is huge. I see how it could cause some misunderstandings. From my deduction, I wager they spent too much money on building the house, and that is why they are now broke. I'm not broke. Being broke? How very, very unfortunate. Rika-chan took pity on me as she patted my head. I go from being treated like a millionaire to a beggar. Yeah, sorry for ruining your imagination, but we aren't millionaires or poor. We're the image of a normal, average household. You can't call it normal with that huge house. The entranceway is all grand, and the gate is large enough for a large truck to get through. That's not normal at all. They do say the bigger your house, the more prosperous you are. The reason the house is so big is because Dad's studio is in it too. It's a house and it's a business. There are a bunch of different workshops and lots of his works are hung up in different places. All of them are huge too. For those reasons, the family actually uses only a third of the house for day-to-day living. He planned it out so people and cars could come in to see the gallery he opens up in the house someday. By the way, the entranceway Mion is talking about is the one for the studio and is normally sealed off. The entranceway that my Amber family actually uses is a very plain and simple one. The interior is much different from how it looks on the outside. I'd really like a chance to explore Ki-chan's house. Claiming not to be rich, but having a home like that? What could be hidden there? Well, we'll only know. Maybe there's something cute hidden, too. Okay. They probably had no money to purchase furniture, so it's filled with Spartan rooms. If there are carpeted rooms, I would love to try rolling around on the floor. Well, that'd be great, so great. I want to roll around too. Seems like their imaginations were just piling on. Well, sometime in the near future, it wouldn't be too bad to invite them all to my house. Dad is a sucker for the ladies, so he might even let them look around his studio, and that is a little creepy. The cry of Higurashi crescendoed as the sky towered over everything. It was hot, but the air was clear. It smelled like the beginning of summer. Okay, now let me go back. Can I go back? Exit. Where's all tips? Did I see? See, we're a mixed grade. We don't have a uniform. See, I thought we already talked about these, but apparently we didn't. So give me a moment to see what this is all about. I should have known this. So, Reina, we are the same age. Yes, that's right. We're the same zodiac animal, too. Hey, now, it would be weird if we were the same age, but not the same zodiac animal. That's not true. If your birthday isn't the same, then you can have different animals, even if you're the same age. Huh? Oh, yeah, I see. Mion, you're pretty smart. What month were you born, by the way, Kichi-kun? I'm July. Rena smirked and puffed up with pride. Hey, now, what's the meaning of this? She's not planning to be all high and mighty if her birthday was a wee bit sooner than mine, is she? Hey, don't even. It's impossible to challenge me by birthday. I wouldn't even mind if you bet $1 per month. Huh? Huh? Why? Reina Panic is suddenly being challenged to a wager. Given how panicked she is, I am certain she doesn't have much allowance left this month. It's just sending her into a panic about something as simple as a birthday is so fun. I can't help myself. So that means you were born in April, Ki-chan? Right on. Too bad, Reina. I'm already far older than Reina. Oh, I see. Then you're the same age as me-chan. Well, it's just a few months. That gap will open up again soon enough. Mia-chan snickered through her nose. Hey now, that's not something to get all high and mighty about, as if I'm one to talk. Now that you mention it, you're in a higher grade, right, Mion? If you're into underclassmen, then I can be an underclassman from now on. Mi-chan, you're not making any sense to me. Just by seeing Rena's blushing face, you could tell she knew exactly what she meant by it, though. Yeah, more of that talk. Hold on, just gotta check my thing here. I got a text. Done. Okay. Is this my wife saying she's done? We're almost done too. Okay. Then Satoko and Rika-chan are underclassmen. Their grade is so different that they should be in a different school, shouldn't they? Ki-chan, your tastes are a bit too young, I think. You're not making any sense yourself, Reina. I'll just grab onto her head and scruff it up a bit. How? Stop it! Please tell me that's the end of that. Oh, there's more. I wondered about it before, yeah? I was wondering why this school has different school years all mixed up. There aren't enough classrooms. Can't help it. This building is being rented from the forestry services, after all. When she says it like that, it makes sense. I've thought our school was strange for a while now. The schoolyard is gravel, there are rooms that aren't for classes, and there's some strange sort of construction machinery parked here. Oh great. Why is it being borrowed? What happened to the real school? There was one here forever from before the war. It got dilapidated. They closed it down. It probably was a grand old schoolhouse. Well, because of that, the students would have to attend the school in the city. That's pretty far though, you know. Which school would that be? Did you know there's a school if you pass by the Okonomiya train station? Turn at the hospital and head towards the pediatrics department? What? So far? I couldn't tell where that was by the location, but I understood it was pretty far from Reina's reaction. Well, that's why. The guys that didn't want to communicate to Okonomiya rented out the building from the Forestry Service, and they are attending this pseudo-schoolhouse here. About half the children in Hinamaziwa go here. There are quite a lot of kids that come here on a bike. Well, since they're attending this really messed up school, it might be pretty hard for them to get into higher education. That's not true, Mi-chan. If you study properly, you can go anywhere you want. Yeah, that's right. I totally agree with Reina on this one. Yeah, that's right. Let's try our best. All of you, try your best. This old man will be rooting for you. Not just us, you too. You should be preparing for exams, shouldn't you? Your future's bleak with grades like this. Fine, just fine. If I get stuck, then I'll just mooch off Ki-chan as he works forever. What do you mean by work forever? Do you mean... Hey! You're too loud. Be quiet during self-study. The teacher yelled at all three of us. I'm sorry, it should be... It was completely our fault. Satoko saw it and chortled haughtily. I stuck out my tongue at her in response. It's just as Mion says, this school has nothing to do with higher education. But it makes up for that by having lots of valuable things other schools don't. Oh, gee. How long is this one going to take? Okay, one last one. We don't have a uniform. Let me just knock this out really quick. It's only June, but it's already so hot. It could hear the Higurashi outside chirping. Me, me. And at night, there are mosquitoes. Well, that sucks. It might as well be summer already. My only salvation was that the mornings were still cool. Summer, I do declare. Satoko was flapping her skirt languidly. That's pretty unladylike there. Even if she were a little brat, she still was a girl. Kichi does seem quite cool with just a single button-up shirt. I'm so jealous. From how I see things, the skirt you're wearing looks like it would be much cooler. A girl like you just wouldn't understand. Wearing jeans during this season, how steamy the crotch gets? It gets steamy? Hoo-hoo! This girl has gone imagining something indecent. Rena's summer clothes have a nice, refreshing color. I feel cooler just looking at them. Ha 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 ha! Thank you. They really do feel pretty cool. I do wish my summer clothes were as breezy as Rena's. But Satoko-chan, your summer clothes are so cute, being one piece and all. Oh, that was Rena. That was Satoko. I'd like to wear your summer clothes. I'm so confused. This is actually quite stuffy, you know. I do believe what you're wearing would feel much cooler. But it would be so much more fun with cute clothes. Ooh. I had a feeling that Reina and Satoko's base values were fundamentally different. Speaking of which, our school doesn't have a uniform. Yeah, it doesn't. As long as they're proper, then regular clothes are fine. There are quite a few students in regular clothes. There are quite a few wearing uniforms, but they were all the same design and rather plain. What's the uniform they're all wearing? They're all the same. That's the city school's uniform. It's not like there's a rule, but they're all wearing them. Speaking of which, everybody in our group is wearing a different uniform, aren't we? Did you go all out of your way to get them from somewhere? Why, yes. Mia-san supplied them. Mia-chan's relatives run a second-hand clothing store. They can get school clothes from all over the country for cheap, they say. So you asked those relatives to get a bunch of unique school uniforms then? That Mion, she probably loves using her friends as dress-up dolls. That must be a strange second-hand clothing store. I get that it's a second-hand clothing store, but stocking clothes from schools all over the country? That's pretty strange for a second-hand clothing store. What's the point in stocking up clothes from faraway schools they know nothing about? After they kill the little children, they take the uniforms and hold on to them. Yeah, I think so too. They also have used swimsuits and PE uniforms. I don't like the idea of having used ones. Doesn't sound like that shop makes much money. They probably have Mion pitch in and help so they can make a bit more. But Mion-san says I'll be a big hit and become a great store. It'll become a great, with such conviction. A second-hand clothing store that stocks school uniforms will be a big hit? I don't get it. Got it. Okay, and that is the end of that memory. So, let me hit save again, just make sure we're saved. We're going to save right here again. Okay, so that was part 2. Don't know how much more we have in chapter 1, but we will see. Thanks for watching. As usual, I don't know when I'm going to be streaming again, but look forward to it then. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in any more of my stuff, I post at Tev's Next Idea. That's at www. Well, the address is on the main page, as well as the place where I write faith-based articles. That is half-air.com, or half-air. So, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.